Hey, I'm Matt, you're watching Blunt TV. We are here with Walter Schreifels.
Hey.
How the fuck you going, man?
I'm going fucking good, man. I'm having a great time in Australia and just loving it, enjoying myself.
Yeah. Of course, you were here with the one and only Frank Iero. This tour wraps at the Metro. It's going to be a spicy time. How has the tour been so far?
Just really strength to strength. We started in Perth, had a great show there, went back to Brisbane, awesome, the Triffid, and then in Adelaide was wonderful at the Gov. Melbourne, we had 2 days there, and just, I think it was really just kept arcing up, and now Sydney, I have a lot of friends here in Sydney, and it's a great city, so I'm looking forward to tonight.
For sure?
Yeah.
Has any part of this tour stuck out in particular? Like, what's been the highlight?
Gosh, gig-wise, they've been all really cool. I had a really nice, I like to, when I'm on tour, especially if I'm going on a long plane ride like this, I like to go for a run to kind of get my, I don't just kind of, running kind of clears my head out, gets me in the zone. And I had a really nice run in Brisbane, a really long run there, and a nice run in Perth as well. So I think Brisbane, though, I just hit it right at magic hour, and just the whole city was just beautiful, and that was a real highlight for me. But we've been hanging out a lot with Frank and the band, and we've had just a lot of good jokes and having a good time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So having played so many fucking balls to the wall punk shows in so many hectic bands, does it feel like a nice sort of refresh to play these solo shows?
It's a nice, yeah, I like it. I like it all. I'm kind of, it's just exercising different, when I'm up there with the guitar and just by myself, I'm kind of, it's more about the lyrics and I can play the songs faster or slower or skip songs or skip verses, and I just have a lot more control, and I can be a lot more spontaneous, but it's also, in a way, like takes more energy because it is just happening so in the moment. But I love that. So I love playing in a band. I love playing guitar, singing, and all that kind of stuff. But solo stuff is special.
Yeah. I know Frankie Boy is a pretty huge fan of some of the bands that you have been in. Had you guys played many shows before or hung out before this tour?
I had never played with him before, but I met him last year and through mutual friends, and he's just cool, and we got along, and we had wanted to play together for a while, and this Australia thing came up, and I was free. I was like, that sounds really good. I'm down, and we've just been having a great time. Cool.
I think one of my favorite things about both you and Frank is that you both revel in this crazy musical freedom, and you're very unrestrained in how you collaborate with other musicians. Would you make a record with Frank?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think my schedule is actually pretty filled up. I'm having to start to say no to things, but someone like Frank, the way the things are now, it's like I have the freedom to do I don't have like a boss or anything. So if I'm interested in something creatively, I pursue it. But
for sure.
For now, coming to Australia is about as much as I've got in me right now, because I have a couple of other things coming this year and next.
Of course. So this is your first time in Australia in a fair while. Do you remember much about the last time you were here?
Oh, actually, I was here not that long ago. I was here last year with Gorilla Biscuits.
Gotcha.
So, but I'm kind of low-key in Gorilla Biscuits, so, but I guess, the thing about the way that my career kind of has worked out is like, there'll be fans of rival schools that aren't aware of Gorilla Biscuits, and Gorilla Biscuit fans that aren't aware of my solo work, and there's some crossover in between, so each time I come, there's there's certain constant people that are kind of following it all, but each experience is kind of different onto itself, and I like that. I find it interesting.
Yeah, totally.
So this tour is very different than the Gorilla Biscuit tour, and the Rival Schools tour is different from that, and I did another solo tour here, so I guess I like it all. I'm into it.
For sure. So, doing my research on Setlist FM, I see you tap into a lot of your other projects in your solo set. You know, when you're bashing out a Gorilla Biscuit song or a Rival Schools banger, you know, do you feel like you're almost covering yourself, or do they become songs in your solo?
Well, you know, I'm generally doing ones that I wrote, so I feel for me like it's my connection to that song, so my interpretation of what it is. And so to people, if I play a Gorilla Biscuit song, I don't know that I guess to people that know it, it's kind of an interesting novelty. For people that don't, it's just like another song that I'm singing. And is it effective in that way, and how do I feel about it as I'm doing it? This tour's been nice. I haven't done really anything from any of my older bands. I'm doing a couple songs from Vanishing Life, which is a new project I have coming in November. And I've been doing a couple songs from Dead Heavens, which is another project that I have coming next year.
Yeah. So, you know, with the regular sets, especially playing some of those faster, heavier songs, you know, when you take those songs and you put them in this slower, more swervier kind of vibe, does it give you another connection to the music as a musician?
I mean, that's why I'm kind of interpreting it, you know, to keep it. You know, there's the essence of the song, the structure, the lyrics, and, you know, how does that apply in different shapes, and how do you stretch it, and, you know, and interpret it. I find that fun, and it keeps it interesting for me. And, you know, I want to play some things that people are, you know, I have like one solo album and some other scattered things. So, you know, it kind of keeps it for people that are just coming to support like me, or like, I'm throwing some bones out there too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So outside of touring, you recently reissued your debut solo record, An Open Letter to the Scene, with the blokes at Run for Cover. First things first, what made you want to hook up with those guys for this release?
Run for Cover, the guys at Run for Cover were in a band called Hostage Com, and they opened for Rival Schools many years ago, and Hostage Com was actually a Quicksand title. And so I was like, who are these guys? And they're a great band. And so I became friends with those guys on that trip. And I don't know, they've just come up with the record label. It's been done, they're doing a lot of great stuff. And a friend of mine was like, dude, Run for Cover is really talking it up. So it turns out that my record was not on iTunes anymore. And so when I thought of like a record label that would be good to put it out, that would kind of expose it to like new people.
Run for Cover?
Yeah, Run for Cover, and I called them up, and Tom and those guys were just like, yeah, let's do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
So the record comes with a bonus 7-inch with 2 amazing songs, and I mean, I love Overjoyed because it sounds like a song that could probably be on the album, but it also has that whole new vibe to it. How did that song come about?
I think I just had the idea to do a 7-inch to kind of do something with this record coming out and it being like an older record, although I think to quite, you know, it's new to a lot of people. To do something that would be exciting and current. So I just kind of came up with that song, and it came together very easily, and I love it. It's like my favorite song right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then you've got Lover's Theme, which is this, you know, sort of dulcet, pseudo-trippy instrumental jam. What's the background behind the banger?
I just had this melody in my head, and I thought it would be cool to try something different, try something new for me. There's like, just like a different kind of, I guess I was inspired by Air, you know, instrumental, like kind of more trippy, relaxing instrumentals, and something that would sound kind of cinematic, and so I'm really happy with that one too. I love it. I'm not playing it acoustic solo, you know, whatever, but
Cool.
I think it's a real cool song. I'm happy with it.
I think you pulled it off perfectly.
Thank you.
So yeah, so these 2 songs aren't a first taste of the next solo record. They're just
Yeah, I mean they are in my mind. Yeah.
So they're going to be on the record?
Not on this next. I have another solo record coming out. It's a 10-inch. It's just an EP. There's 4 songs on it though, and it's some stuff actually I recorded again some years ago. So I'm kind of just catching up on my solo stuff. So I'm gonna hopefully have another record out next year. But I have so many records coming out. It's like I'm starting to spread myself thin, only physically, not creatively, but physically. I can't be everywhere promoting them.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, and maintain at home. But but I'm doing my best.
See, I was talking with my friend Walter Fest to get all of your bands together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Just 10 sets, whole day.
It could come together. It's like another project that I have to put on the back burner for right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the new EP that is coming out next year, you're playing a song off it on this tour?
Yeah, I'm playing Overjoyed on this. I've been playing it every night I play it. I love it. It's fun, and people just dig it. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, how is the second solo album coming along? Are you working on it in the background, or?
Yeah, kind of. It's on the back burner. I've got a bunch of songs for it, and it's just kind of fun, slating out the time to record it. So I'll probably do it more piecemeal, like a little bit here, a little bit there, and kind of spring it on people when they least expect it. That's my MO, kind of.
So you're going full naturally, no deadlines, no.
Yeah, because I don't think that I don't need to put that pressure on it, and I have other projects like Vanishing Life and Dead Heavens that are kind of in the queue a little bit. They're further up.
Yeah, totally. So I was reading some interviews, some articles from around 2010, where you said that the second solo record would be coming out the next fall. Did you knock that back to work on the Rival Schools record that came next?
I may have done. I mean, now it's so hard to remember what was going on, but I do remember getting a little bit knocked off the plot from that. And I think my intention was, because I had written a bunch of songs, and also I think I remember doing some sessions that I thought were like okay, but not enough to like really push through. And and then Rival Schools came, and then I kind of lost the plot even further. But the thing is like my participation in all these different bands is, a lot of it is me anyway. So I'm still producing music and still doing it, but under my own name is, I guess I just don't feel like the same kind of pressure or responsibility to do it.
Absolutely. So you were saying back then that you wanted to explore on this next record country music and some more rootsy sounds.
I did.
Is that still the game plan?
That's the EP that's coming out.
That's the EP.
Yeah, so that actually the EP that's coming out was the start of that record, and I just kind of hit a snag, and I don't know, the 4 songs that I thought were best from those sessions is what I'm going to release. It's going to come out. We haven't set a date yet, but it's going to be a 10-inch, and the songs are great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you are definitely no stranger to pushing the boundaries of genres. You've got punk bands, you've got rock bands, you've got Dead Heavens. Is it exciting for you to be tackling so many genres and putting your spin on as many styles as you can?
I think I'm like a lot of people. Excuse me. I'm interested in different genres. You know what I mean? I kind of maybe started in this kind of punk world, but before that I was into AC/DC, you know what I mean? So I like hard rock and new wave, and I'm interested in country, reggae, doo-wop, everything. I just kind of go through genres. So when I come, as life progresses and you're different as a musician, I'm the kind of musician that wants to try different styles, and I'm inspired by people that do that. So I go for it.
Absolutely, yeah. So, again, I've seen a lot of interviews where you talk about your origins in punk, with Gorilla Biscuits and the bands before then. But I'm curious, how did you get into indie and blues, and how did you start exploring, I guess, beyond punk?
I think it's just, before I got into hardcore, I was into new wave, and before I was into new wave, I was into hard rock. And so it's just kind of in the, when I got into hardcore, that kind of put me into some sort of different track to become a professional musician. Somehow it worked out. But my background is in all kinds of stuff. And growing up as a kid, I was listening to Cat Stevens and Bob Dylan with my parents' music and stuff. So that's in me as well. So I was never like some sort of punk to the death, rancid type person, where I was like, chained to some genre. I haven't done a ska thing, but I like ska too.
Next project.
Yeah, I don't know if that's not. Again, I have too many things in the queue right now, but there was a time right when I formed Gorilla Biscuits, I was also doing a ska project, but Gorilla Biscuits just kind of took off.
Yeah. Awesome, man. We will wrap up here, but just before I let you head off, there's a million things going on in Waldertown. You've got EP, a couple albums next year. What are you jamming outside of your own stuff? Are you any bands you're repping at the moment?
Gosh, let me look at my Spotify for a second. Oh no, my phone's not here. Let me think. What have I been listening to? A band called Sir Lord Baltimore, which is kind of like late '60s, early '70s psych band. Brian Eno, 'cause I've been reading a book on his stuff, Another Green World. What else have I been listening to? Something really good I was listening to recently. I don't know, I have like a variety of interests, you know,
Yeah.
just kind of like spinning a lot of different stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Walter Schreifels.
Pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.